So, yeah, those are I'm going to create this shock wave, and that shock wave spread the sand out. Add a little more, so make it hard. This is a known fact. PGA Tour players, when they strike the ball, let's say with a driver, the actual contact of the ball slows the club head down approximately 5 miles an hour. The non-skilled golfer, whether it's chipping, could be driving, as soon as they hit something, they don't complete their swings. That actual hit slows people down. The good player will bust through that hit, and they know that. Swing and get comfortable hitting the sand and feeling the resistance of it, the sensation of it. Izzy here from the Oakdale Golf Academy. Welcome to my channel. So it appears to me that people still have trouble getting out of the sand trap. Okay, no problem. Hopefully I can shed a different light on it, a different spin, and it will help you. If you watched my previous video, got some wonderful comments, got a lot of views, thank you. It's all about the low point of a golf swing. So if you worked on your low point, here's a link above. Go and watch it. It'll teach all about the ground game and what you need to do. So a couple of things that I have found is that when people hit an object, whether it is, this is a known fact, PGA Tour players, when they strike the ball, let's say with a driver, the actual contact of the ball slows the club head down approximately 5 miles an hour. So what's the difference between a high-level player and a not high-level player? Is they actually bust through hits. So the same thing goes with the sand. You know, you take a swing with the sand and people hit the sand and just that feeling of contacting something, which is sand in this scenario, it slows people down and they don't fire through the sand. They think they do, but they really give up on their swings. It happens with a lot of swings, not just sand shots. Okay, so let's talk about what actually occurs when the club's hitting the sand. I like to describe it this way. So I'm going to turn my golf club basically with the bottom of it completely flat to the surface. And I'm going to just hinge it up here and I'm going to slam down into the sand. What I created there was a shock wave, sand wave, swing wave, whatever you want to call it. That was a little violent, but that's okay. That wave, that hit spread the sand out. And that shock wave, you hope, is going to go in the direction of your destination, which is the flag or close to the flag. That's what we're trying to do with our swing. The basic mechanics are hinge your wrists on the way back so you can feel like you have a slapping downward sensation. You need that action. You can hold your follow through with no wrist release, or you could do it with wrist release. On really close shots, you want to have a lot of wrists, and I'll do a couple of demonstrations for you. But generally speaking, I'm going to land it a few inches behind, and I'm really looking at that, and I'm going to slam that sand, and I'm going to bust through it. And it will go out. Depth control, low point is very key. Another thing, it's good to have an open stance to your target. The reason why it's good to have an open stance is because your body doesn't have to rotate through the hit so much as where you would have more of a torquing swing, like a full swing driving through. The target's right there, so your waist and everything just has to move a little bit. So you can face your target and the travel isn't as far. Okay, so you got our stance open, we're hinging our wrists, we're slamming the sand. And what other structural thing can we do? Well, a lot of teachings are, you want to have your weight kind of forward, feeling forward in your stance, and it's awkward with a lot of people, I understand that. But you don't want to bring your weight automatically, as soon as you raise your arms, you're transferring weight to your right leg or your back leg. So you want to preset some of that weight on your front to prevent yourself from swaying off the ball so you only shift through the shot. So I'm leaning a little bit of weight here, land it right a few inches behind the ball. And that's very important. It will help you. Try this. I'm going to hit a bunker shot now. You watch my swing. I'm going to make sure that as it's going down that I actually toughen my way kind of through that. Accelerate through it, not let the sand slow the club head down. If you don't, the club will deflect. It's going to go all over the place. You need to bust through the sand. You have to be the dominant player in this swing. Looks something like this. So I definitely went through the ball. That's a very big key characteristic in hitting a sand shot. You've seen many times draw a line behind the ball, try to enter at that line. That's where your low point enters. Still bust through that sand, get it going. It's not that hard. Depending on the scenario, and I'm going to do a couple of buried lies for you, you may need to shorten your follow through and have a type of jabby stroke, depending. But general 101 bunker shots, try to create, they call it possibly an L swing, so create a right angle on your backswing, bring it up, drive it down, release your club, and then go back up into an L angle. It will help you. It looks like this. And that goes out, no problem. People have different styles. Tour pros have different styles, how they go about it. And through trial and error, they have figured out what works for them. This will be a hinge up, and I'm going to bust through it, but I'm going to hold my follow through. It's another way of hitting a sand shot. Okay, so that's another way of doing it. It works. You have to practice it. Key thing is following through. You need to follow through with your swing. Do I open the club? I'll open it a tad. This is a 60. It's got enough loft. I'll bounce it. When I pass through it, I will drop the club a little bit early so I can create that slide under the ball. Well, I got a challenging shot over here. Hit the ball. It's plugged in. Now I'm on an uphill lie, so it's a little easier, but the shot is challenging. You can't go in it and blast it with an open face. The club will most likely deflect the edge into the ball. You're not going to produce a good shot. So here, you put the ball a little further back in your stance, so it's around just inside of my right ankle, my back ankle, and I'm going to lean left so my head is well above, almost half a foot ahead of the ball. And all I'm going to do with a square club, nothing open, I'm going to try to bring it right up, ride it up, it'll appear closed, and I'm slamming down, hopefully a couple of inches before the ball. I'll do a practice stroke to simulate what I'm going to be doing, which is this. And that's about as far as I'm going to follow through. The bank is a little higher. I don't need to tilt like that. If I do, I could scull the ball again. I want to lean into it. I want to shovel this thing out. And that's how you go about it. And that's how you get out of that lie. Okay, so you bring it up and you go down with the edge. Hard into it. Don't let the sand slow you down. It's a punch, it's a jab. That's how you have to do it. You go up, give it a punch, and blast it through. Okay, I'm on a par 5. Second shot. Sometimes you can get bunkered, trapped. Got 71 yards to the flag. And I'm going to show you what I do, how I go about doing this. And basically I hit a punch shot, a knockdown shot. But I'll put the ball even further back in my stance. It tends to want to hook on you, so you got to be careful about controlling your face. You go in square. I'm opening myself a little bit to the target, so it's basically almost off totally the instep of my right foot. I'm leaning completely on my left. I'm going to go up and I'm going to drop down a little knockdown shot on this ball, and hopefully I can get it on the green, 71 yards. Hit that a little strong. Okay, we'll go again. Okay, that one was good. One more try. So, yeah, those are excellent shots, no doubt about it. I almost hold that one. First one a little strong, got my feel for it. But if you're skilled and you can make good contact, you're good at your low point and all that sort of stuff, this shot isn't that hard. I used a lob wedge, nice smooth swing, 70 yards. And something for you to work on, something for you to practice. It'll help you down the road. Sometimes we short side ourselves and you got to do something, I don't know if you'd call it fancy, but let's say it's a little more sensitive. You don't want to shoot it too far past the hole if you can prevent that. I do have a backstop. I believe this was the 7th hole at the RBC Canadian Open. Okay, so I have 10 yards. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to open up the face a little bit. And when I hinge it up, I'm going to feel like I'm opening it as well. I'm going to release it, of course, but when I'm releasing it, you see, the toe won't go over the heel. I'll be releasing it, and the toe will still be behind it. So it'll still create a shave. I'm going to slam down a little harder on this one because I want to have a little bit more of a lifting shock wave, as well with a little bit of a higher follow through. Now it won't follow through that much, that high, but a little bit does a lot. And let's see how I do here. So again, I'm about that far open. It's going to cut across. So a lot of wrist hinge, a lot of open, and a good release. And a nice hard slam right behind the ball. Okay, let's do that again. Looking at the flag. Okay, one more time. Okay. So again, it's a way of doing the job. Job was done. I got a chance at making those putts. They're pretty close. Again, so you bring it up, you open the face, you open it up a little more on the way back, you slam down. And sometimes you may, like on that scenario, it got a little heavy, it stopped my swing a little bit, but I followed through enough to execute the shot. That's what you're trying to accomplish here. Hinge up, slam down, don't be afraid, bust through it, the ball go out. One more thought here. I'll put these balls in. I'm gonna step on them. There you go, they're down. Our sand is hard here. Kind of for a bunker player, it's easy to get the ball out, easier I would say. Let me step on that a little more. So make it hard. Now my expectation is getting this close to the hole. I don't really have any. I just want to get it out. If I could land it in the rough to slow the ball down a bit, great. I definitely want to cover this little nose here, get it on the green and deal with it. So I'm going to hit it about 4 inches behind the ball, closing the face. I'm going up and I'm slamming down. I'm going to thud it. I'm going to stop my swing. I'm giving it a jab, and that's all I'm giving it. We'll see how I do. So at the back of my stance, I'm leaning a little bit forward. Okay. Okay, can hit it a little harder than that. It got out. That one was pretty good. One more. Okay, and roll back down. Oh, don't go in. Okay, but these are the skills you want to learn to do. So there's different variations. There is bouncing it, you know, your generic slam it down and follow it through. And then there is, you could call it digging, where you got to go in with your edge. And you got to slam it in there. You got to know why you're doing that and what shot it's for. So what do we have to learn in practice? My suggestions are, first, if your mechanics are sound, swing and get comfortable hitting the sand and feeling the resistance of it, the sensation of it. Get comfortable doing that. And you just have to do a bunch of them. And then after that, draw the line. See how precise you could deliver your swing. Try to be as pinpoint as possible. It will help all aspects of your game. For sure, 100%. Over this stuff again. It's nothing new. I'll put that ball a couple inches behind or ahead of that line. I'll try to blast this up to the flag. That was a good shot. Well, I hope this video was helpful. Until next time, I'm Izzy. So if there are two types of shots with similar swings, I would say it's a flop shot and a bunker shot. And you don't always have a chance to be around a sand trap, but you can get around grass here and there, hopefully. And if you ever have a chance, just make it simple and try to learn how to hit flop shots. So it's very similar. You have the face a little bit open so the club doesn't dig. Hinge your wrists up, bounce it off the ground and follow it through high. Make sure you accelerate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my bunker shot swing, flopping the ball. So it's something like this. So I'll go up to it. There you go. Go again. And you're developing that action, that skill that's required to hit bunker shots and flop shots. You're getting two for the price of one. Hey, there you go. How about that for a deal?